It's another beautiful Wednesday. It's midweek and it promises to be mind-blowing here. In the last 24 hours, a lot has transpired in the sporting world, and when we come like this, it's time to look at the tidbits making round in different sports. And today, we'll take a look at some of the key stories that are broken in the last 24 hours, more or less 12 hours. And on the menu this morning, Nigeria sweeps African Scrabble titles. Action continues in the first round of the US Open, and in football, Alan Saka wins PFA Award. Details of this and many more will be yours in our jiffy. Ekpo Temple is my name. When we come back, I will formally introduce our guest in the studio today.
From the line across the ocean to the land beyond the mountains, through the Sahara, we bring.
Every day our lives are changed by history.
We are one people, all of us.
Leaders, politics.
Nobody's ambition is what's the blood.
I have fought a very family.
Natural occurrence, war, and the world economy.
I belong to everybody, and I belong to nobody.
ATN covers it all on ATN Politics today.
People into the country illegally. That is amazing.
They are not picking our calls. They made up their minds. I am in the
with the EU, but
welcome back from that short breaker. It stays Sports Talk on Atlantic Television Network. Yes, joining me this morning to bring you some of the scintillating analysis you can ever think of in sports is Mbakalo. Mbakalo is an ex-Eyimba international footballer and a strong member of the Sports Writers Association of Nigeria, River State chapter. Mba, it's a lovely time to get to see you in our studio. This is you making your debut here.
Thank you. I'm happy to be here.
So much joy to have you. And quickly, before we get to you, let's just take a look at some of the trending stories in sports. Two Nigerian, David Oji and the Prestige Archibong, have emerged as champion in the under 19 and under 15 categories, respectively, at the Wilfred Awosike African Youth Scrabble Championship. Now, the championship took place at one of the schools in Lekki, Lagos, featured participants from 5 African countries of Kenya, Liberia, Ghana, Uganda, and the host country, Nigeria. David, who emerged victorious in 19 games and suffered 5 losses, secured the under-19 championship title after engaging in 4 days of intense mind games encompassing 24 rounds. The winner, we are awarded a total of $9,000 as prize money, alongside valuable gifts including laptop, tablets, and smartphone. Also, in the Panasal President Cup in Nigeria, Victor emerged as a champion by defeating former world champion Wellington Jegere. Victor, who was awarded $5,000 at the Benga and Benga Ojitimi Trophy, garnered a cumulative total point of 101 in the final held in Lagos. Those countries who participated include the Botswana, Cameroon, Ghana, Kenya, Liberia, Sierra Leone, the Gambia, Uganda, and the United States of America, as well as Nigeria. Over to Tech Ball now. The Nigerian Tech Ball Federation announces the postponement of the Tech Ball World Championship qualifier from the 6th of September in Ilorin, Kwara State. In a statement signed on Monday this week, the General Secretary, Mr. Ndudu Edidi, who announced the postponement of the double-header event while apologizing to all the stakeholders for the inconveniences the new development will cause, as he reaffirms the Federation commitment to staging a qualifier that will feature worthy champions that will represent the country effectively on the global scene. Having done the news now, let me go back to our guest in the studio, Mbakalo. When we talk about some of these things, tech ball, cricket, talk about sports like hockey, sports like Scrabble, it looks like they may be old sports, but Nigerians, those in the sports fraternity, are yet to acquaint themselves with these sports. One begin to wonder, what can we do, especially at this time, when these sports are gold-oriented sports in events like Olympics, events like Commonwealth Games, and in many global sporting events, we get to see those sports and medals are emanating from these sports. What can Nigeria do, as a way of, fostering idea to say, okay, these are federations. What can we do now to make it known to Nigerians and make it a sport that will be viable, that we can begin to nurture and hoping that we can get medals from someday?
Yes, I want to use rugby as an example.
We know rugby is a little bit newly introduced into the sports arena in Nigeria. It's quite obvious. We only talk about football, basketball, and the rest of them. You see a country like South Africa, I'm just using rugby as an example. South Africa has gone far.
So the essence of winning a world title.
Exactly. And you can see after many years, Nigeria is just being introduced into the game. So likewise, every part of the other sports where you have a Scrabble, like you said, they say early to bed, early to rise. And as it stands, if you ask me, we are just coming on board and getting to know the techniques of those sports, So it's left for our sports administrators, to do something about it. We go for international training, we finance, and they do all necessary things that will equip us to do the contest and the international global scene. So I think we need to have more concentration on those sports. That's my thinking.
And the good thing about it is that the minister has come out to say that he's not just going to be focusing on football alone, but he's going to focus more on other sports to see how far he can elevate the standards of other sports. So more like a thumbs up for the minister in line with what you just said now.
Exactly. Yeah, we know the minister is new, but I saw him with prospects, modalities on how to generate other parts of the sports, make them come to limelight, and Nigeria will be reckoned on those kind of sports, and the name will be there, just like the football. We've made history talking about football, so much is expected from the sports minister, so they will be able to have something to present to the sports scene.
Now, just talking about the minister, just 3 weeks ago we saw his emergence, and prior to his time, to this time, we've seen a lot of sports ministers coming to be with laudable footprints and visions. Sometimes those visions do not replicate or materialize to reality. But when they come into office, they have this broad vision of doing this, doing that for the sports scene. And at the end of that tenure, we begin to judge them. For Eno, who just came into as sports minister, and he openly has said that he has little or no knowledge about sports, and he's a farmer. But what makes a good minister is the leadership ability and acumen, in bringing out the best directives, as well as, what we call post-corp in administration. But do you think that if you look at the way he has his plans, what will you rate to say at the end of his tenure, this is a successful achievement for the sports minister? At the end, what will you say that, okay, he has achieved so well, he has lived to the billion as a sports minister?
Tempo, you've said it all. And if you ask me, I think it's quite unfortunate, because you cannot take someone who read animal husbandry or whatever, and you see him to be a banker. How will it work? The man told you he used to be a farmer, and now he's the sports minister. So, you see, this is what we are talking about. You see, you do something you're knowledgeable about. I must be very frank with you. Let the truth be told. And I expect the Nigerian government, you look for someone who is in line with sports. We have ex-internationals. We have so many of them. So, positions shouldn't be on favoritism or godfatherism. I think if you ask me, the sports minister, with all he's saying, he said it all, He is yet to be acquainted with the routine and how sports goes in Nigeria. So you end up, if unfortunate, he had someone who is backing him up and trying to show him how things are being done. And if he doesn't have a nice person, and I tell you, the man, that parastatal is going to crumble. So it takes a lot. So it needs so much work to be done.
Now that you have identified that the minister has little or less knowledge about sports, as he has openly said.
Exactly.
What can you advise, if you are to advise the minister, what will you advise him to do so that he can still be, he can still add value to the system?
Well, he has to go on and, getting people around him, those that's going to work with him, who are already in line with sports, and they're going to put him through. That's just the simple truth. But if you allow him to do the job alone, he might not have the capacity.
He has more federations in the sports ministry.
Exactly.
And the good thing about his time is that he's not going to bother himself with being the minister for youth and sports. So his concentration will just be on sports alone and sports development in the country. So limiting the scope of his job, for me, is still good. But we hope that John Eno will elevate the standard of sports in Nigeria and ensure that we are globally reckoned with, especially in a time when we are gradually building and rebuilding our sports system. From that, now let's talk about the U.S. Open. And it is the 143rd edition of the U.S. Open going down in New York. A whole lot has transpired. Today is the 3 of the competition. I can tell you for sure that truly, we've seen the big names, counter some of the qualifiers. And after the first game, yesterday we saw some of the results of the games also played. Daniel Medvedev is the 3rd seed, and he used the 74 minutes to cruise into the second round of the U.S. Open with a dominant win over Attilas Balazs. The 2021 champion hit 41 winners as he beat the Hungarian 6-1, 6-1, 6-love to emerge winner. I want to talk about the US Open at this point. A lot of people look at Carlos Alcaraz, look at Novak Djokovic. Now that we don't have Rafael Nadal, a lot of people think that if there is a strong contender, will be between these two. As a lover of tennis, I'm sure that you have been giving a tap since the start of the US Open. Do you believe that an upset could happen, before the finals? Or you think that it's going to be the business as usual, where we're going to see Novak Djokovic, who was not part of this particular one last year, winning this one?
Well, I always tell people sports is unpredictable. You can never tell. There will always be history. History can be beaten. So I don't doubt any upset, because sports is like today could be your day and tomorrow is another person's day. So anything can happen. That's in the world of sports. So anybody can take over the system and becomes the history.
Certainly, we expect a lot of upset in this one. Upsets already started happening. We saw Higuaín upset. He was upset in the few days ago, and then we saw some of the big names. So Maria Sakkari in the WTA also upset. Let's move on now, and let's take what is happening in the WTA, because a whole lot happening from that side. What the ladies are doing. Ons Jabeur of Africa, Tunisia precisely, said she considered quitting as she overcame breathing difficulties to book her place in the second round of the US Open. But 7th seed Caroline Garcia suffered a shock exit. The Tunisian, who is 5th seed, clinched a 7-5, 7-5 win over Colombia's Camila Osorio on Louis Armstrong Stadium. Meanwhile, Garcia lost 6-4, 6-1 to world 114 Wang Jiafeng of China. I mean, Caroline Garcia, truly, like you said, nobody would have believed that. Was a big upset for me. SVI yesterday, there were wins for 3rd seed Jessica Pegula, Wimbledon champion Marketa Vondrousova, Ukraine Elena Vitolina, and American Madison Keys. These are some of the outstanding feats that we've seen so far in this year's competition. And all eyes now being in the second round, as we hope that some of the big names that have made it through will do so well. Meanwhile, we also saw how the likes of Sisinova, clinch a win against Grubja compatriot Claire Liu. And so the first round is over now. What next? The second round, we'll see how the players will battle themselves, but it's not been easy. Of course, $3 million is at stake here for the winner of the WTA or the ATP in the US Open. So let's see. In the next couple of days now, we'll start counting down. From now to next week, it will be glaring who the potential winners are. Let's talk about one player who have exited the scene already. Greek number 8, Maria Sakkari, said she may take a break from tennis after suffering from an opening round exit at the US Open. 28-year-old crashed out after a 6-4, 6-4 defeat by Spanish world number 71, Rebecca Masarova, capping a miserable year at the Grand Slam after first round exit at the French Open and Wimbledon, and a third round appearance at the Australian Open. A whole lot, like I said, upset is the name of the game. With that now, we're going our first break, and when we come back, we'll take a look at the draws of the Nigeria Premier Football League yesterday and how Eyimba, Rivers United, and the Bender Insurance are preparing for the first match of the season. All right, welcome back. I see Atlantic Sports here, and we are looking at all that has happened in the last 24 hours. It's time to talk football, and of course, we'll start from the local scene here, where the Nigeria Premier Football League comes in 10 days' time. A massive preparation for the weekend of 7th, 8th, and 9th, respectively. We are the big names and the big guns in the Nigeria Professional Football League, or the Nigeria Premier League, as it is called now, will fight out against each other. Hold it there. Let's take a look at the draws yesterday.
Exactly.
We saw the stakeholders meeting, the annual general meeting, the AGM. Finally, that, brought about the draws. And it's glaring now that all the teams now know their first game for the season. Eyimba Football Club will be battling in a tough game against the Bender Insurance. And that looks like, for me, a key one because all of them played in the CAF Continental game before now. Two have been hesited. We have Bender Insurance and Rivers United Stadium. But let's look at preparation. Do you think that Eyimba were prepared for the game in Aba? That's a former club, and so definitely we have to focus more on this. Eyimba, how well are they prepared for the new season of the MPL?
Well, most of their players exited after the end of the season, like the Eyimba captain, John Noble, who is now with a club in Tanzania right now. And I think that gave them a little bit upset when this Champions League kicked off. And sincerely speaking, if you ask me, that is the worst season for Eyimba when it comes to continental scene. And Kanu Wankwo being the new chairman of the club, I think that position for Kanu Wankwo is a blunder, if you ask me, because I'm very sure that day they had that match, he wasn't even on ground. And we are really missing Anyansi. But you see, the job must be described and, well explained.
When you say it's a blunder, a lot of persons have craved for innovation. A lot of persons in the sports fraternity trees that when you overstay, when you stay too much in the system, it brings about some bit of weakness. It brings about complacency. It brings about what they call dormancy. So, for Eyimba to move forward, they feel that, okay, with the new governor, there must be someone who will take over. And bringing somebody who has traversed the length and breadth of Europe to come and manage a club in Nigeria, a lot of persons still feel that more, the experience may not be there. But when you compare and contrast, why did you say Eyimba, Anyansi? Yes, no doubt his track record of achievement, but don't you think that Kano can still revive and elevate the club to a contendership?
Thank you. We have this difference of you were a player. Today, you are now in the management circle of a club. You see, these are two different roles in the club. You see, management takes a lot, Anyansi has done it well. Like you said, he has a very good record with Eyimba when it comes to managerial administration. And if you ask me, Kanu Wankwo do not have such experience. And managing a club like Eyimba, you know too well that Eyimba is a whole name in Africa, So, so much need to be done. I think Eyimba need to get more serious if they really want to retain their name in the continental scene. Because the worst defeat that has happened to Eyimba in a season in terms of continental happened last weekend, and we were all shocked. Team that went away and had, though they were defeated, but they had 3 goals for themselves. So what's your reason coming here to play a draw? I know it's football, but if you can score 3 goals away, it means you can do better here. But we didn't see that with Eyimba Football Club. And talking about this season, it's going to be, if they don't take time, it's going to be a very big blunder for them. Look at Bendel Insurance. They've met 4 times with Eyimba since 2019, and Bendel Insurance has defeated them once, and they had a whole 3 draws. And, if you ask me, Bendel Insurance is on fire right now with the support of their governor and the deputy governor, who is a sports lover and who was once a member of the team. I mean, if you look at it, you see that financially, morally, Bendel Insurance are being given hope by the administrators. So if you ask me, they are going to do so well because the support is there.
Maybe they're going to play in Aba, so that could be an advantage for Eyimba.
Who is going to play in Aba?
Bendel Insurance.
Yeah, that's a home match for Eyimba Football Club. Bendel Insurance is going to visit Eyimba at the beginning of the season. But, things has really gone far. It is no longer business as usual. In Nigerian League, we see away teams winning home teams. So home team is not going to be a criteria for Enyimba to win Bendel Insurance. But I wish them good luck because Finidi has actually proved his mark by having the MPFA title last season. So I pray he replicates such a...
And can one has come out to say that the priority now will focus on the League Cups, as the Nigeria Premier League and the Cup game. But let's see the Federation Cup. But let's see how far it'll go. Bayelsa United against Aqua United. If you look at Aqua United, Southside Derby there.
Yeah, exactly. That's going to be a very tough match.
Indeed.
Yeah, because Fatai Osho is the coach of Aqua United, and that's Southside, like you said. So he will want to prove a point. And remember, he just left Rivers United. So he will want to show a mark to show that he is also equal to the task. And on the other hand, Rivers United playing Remo Stars, you know, these two teams, they are like two lions going into the battlefield. And by records, Remo Stars and Rivers United, they've been meeting since 2017. They've had 8 matches, and Rivers United have won them 6 times, and they had 2 draws. So, you know, it's going to be a very big battle. If you ask me, the 2 matches for the opening of MPFL is Enyimba versus Bendel Insurance and Rivers United versus Remo Stars. But as it may be, Fatai Osho, like I said, will want to prove a point.
After his spell with Enyimba, a lot of people truly want to see how Fatai Osho will
be progressing.
Yeah, navigate.
Because he left Enyimba to Rivers United
as a coach, as an assistant coach.
Exactly.
To the technical advisor.
So he has all the mantle and power.
To display his
exactly.
So let's see.
Much is expected from him.
Many much. As I speak with you right now, they are in Eket preparing tactics, stamina, and a whole lot. They left Uyo because they needed less distraction as the team prepares for the opener. We also saw some games. The Shooting Stars will play against Plateau United in the first game of the season. Abia Warriors versus Niger Tornadoes. Enyimba International, we talked about that one. And then Katsina United versus Kwara United. Rivers will host Remo at the Adoki and Messi Stadium. Sunshine Stars with Retacos against Kano Pillars. And Heartland versus Lobby Stars. Sporting Lagos versus Gombe United. Rangers United versus Doma United. Let's talk about Sporting Lagos. One of the new entrants into the league.
Exactly.
I mean, what are the expectations for clubs like this who just came in? You think that they can stand the well-winner of the league?
It's not easy to break into the first division, you know, the Nigerian Premier League. So much is expected from them, and they need to work hard. If you ask me, I think they are well prepared, and you know, they want to show the stuff they're made of breaking into the Nigerian Premier League. So, Sporting, you're going to work out for them, and they're going to surprise you. Watch them.
We are truly going to work out for them. I know that my friend Godwin Enehana is the club manager, and from what we've seen them do, the playoffs, you know, and pre-season preparation, it looks like they are the team to truly watch out in the Nigeria Premier League this season. Away from that, Chairman House Committee on Sports, Honorable Ekene Adams, has assured the Nigeria Premier Football League club owners of a total support in the bid to revamp the league top flight. The chairman gave the assurances when the MPFL club owners paid him a courtesy visit at the National Assembly. Talking about revamping the system is one of those who we expect, you know, to shoulder the burden of elevating the standard of the league is the new board of the Nigeria Premier League, Bengali Belay as the chairman. From what we saw them do last season, what advice will you want to give them this season?
Well, it's really unfortunate because we must start from where we'll do our corrections. You know, it's difficult watching the MPFL on Nigerian television. And I always tell you, you see, we can be here and tell you how many goals Ronaldo has scored. Even in fact, you know, I feel so bad when we can't watch our leagues on tele, you know. So,
but I think the Testosterone did with the pre-season playoffs. I mean, the end of season playoffs, and they were able to watch it on pay TV.
That's streaming online, right? You know, the difference, fine, it's okay streaming online, but you see, not everybody has that opportunity of watching it online. You know what it means, watching it online. And it's always better, and everybody will have that opportunity when you watch it at home, you know. So I urge the management to see how they improve on things like this, you know. You see us watching the South African leagues on this television outfit. So I don't see no reason why Nigeria cannot follow suit. So the league can be popular. There are so many things to be done. Like we said, the LMC last season, they never did well, if you ask me. See, when you watch these leagues, Temple, you and I can be able to tell who is the highest goal scorer in Nigerian league, clubs that are doing well. You can mention names of players in each of these clubs, so we don't even know them.
But I mean, apart from bringing the league, you know,
live on
TV.
Yeah.
A lot of person has adjudged them to have done so well in other areas of other endeavors, like discipline, like programming, payment of the indemnities of referees, and the whole lot. I mean, administratively, I think we have a lot of us have given them thumbs up. No surprises why they were brought back into the board of the league formally, rather than being called the IMC.
I agree with you. In terms of officiating last season, I gave MPFA referees, Nigerian League management, I gave them to because I saw differences, and most clubs were disciplined when it talks of hooliganism, you know. So I think they've done so well in terms of officiating, but this season we expect to see better officiating than what we saw last season. As of officiating, I really gave them kudos.
Back a things at the IFC last season. Now the NPL board did well, and we're going to see what the NPL board will have to do this season in the area of officiating, in the area of managing clubs, and being the middleman between the clubs and the league. And then we hope that they can also streaming. This time around, they are very intentional about the streaming you talk about, to ensure that Nigerians at home, you know, get
able to watch the matches.
Game. Yeah, they've outlined some stadia that will, you know, stream live matches, and it's not about jacking equipment here and there.
Exactly.
Those things are there already, mounted already, and sponsored by one of the corporate partners. So I think that it looks like they are more prepared than ever.
I must be sincere with you. When these matches are streamed and watched on tele, you see, sincerely, the referees tend to behave themselves.
Very well.
Because you are being seen by the world. But you see, and there's one funny thing in MPFA League. Whenever these matches are not being streamlined, watch the officiating of these games and you see the differences, you know. So better officiating, live stream, and you will get all it takes and makes our league a better place.
Truly a better place. And away from that, now let's talk about a little bit of the national team. I mean, the news coming from the glass house has it that Coach Pesero may not be the next coach of the Super Eagles of Nigeria. And we have games next week, and a lot of people are confused as to why they are certain decision, although it has not been formally confirmed, but they have not extended this contract. And when you are not, the contract has elapsed and the contract has not been extended, it means that you are a free agent.
Exactly. You know, I don't know where to come in, because I won't say the NFF don't know what they want. And you see, these coaches, you don't expect them to do magic in a very short while. You know, Posero is not so conversant with Nigerian League and the players, you know. You see, we go for names, but we don't think of experience, you know. You see, Posero came in, and Nigerian football, the Super Eagles, is not what you think, you know. You need somebody who knows the grassroots. I want to give you an example. Talking about the exit of Ganaro sometimes. You know, Ganaro has spent close to 5 years thereabout with the Super Eagles. You know, look at the years, you know. So it took his time to know what these players and how Nigerian football, the history and every part of it. So asking Posero to go, I ask you now, who is next? You know, are we going back to local coaches?
Yeah, I think they want to have a local
Tempo, you see, when you're talking about Super Eagle coaches and technical crew, if you ask me, I will tell you we are always front and back. You know, when you move forward and it seems like no headway, you have to come back again. So, you know, so the politics in Nigerian football is something you need to have a hard hand for you to be able to face it. You see, we have so much problem talking about the NFF. They bring local coaches, paying them becomes a problem. Even Ganaro was owed for, I think, 8 months or thereabouts. And Posero, I'm sure he's being owed. You see, why not play a role and allow these people to do what they know best? So, you see, when you work in a conducive environment, you'll be able to give out your best. So, I don't know the reason the watchword is the coaches are always being owed. You see, I have never had that answer. What is the reason for owing them? I can never tell. Okay. You can't tell. So there are things, administrative problem is one side of it. We need to put these things together and make sure we come up with a solution.
We need to put our house in order and make sure that we come up with a massive solution, like you said, yeah. But talking about the African continent, Manchester United goalkeeper Andre Onana has been named in Cameroon's squad for the final African Cup of Nations qualifier. The announcement comes 9 months after he was suspended by the country's federation midway through the 2022 World Cup in Qatar. Suspending the player, and now that he's with one of the biggest clubs in England, I mean, no doubt, I think it's a good choice for me, if you ask me, getting him back to play for the national team. And when they suspended him, he retired from international football. I mean, how these players retire and come back? For me, I can't take back my words if I voice it out. So, but more like they would have talked with him. He's playing for Manchester United, one of the best goalkeepers in the world. I mean, having that in your national team, in the goalpost, looks like the nod.
Temple, you know, my people say, how am I going to put it? When quality soup, the sweet, by Nigerian language, do you understand?
Yeah.
You see, the man has moved from Ajax to Inter Milan, and today he's with Manchester United. These are 3 big clubs in Europe, in the world that is you can count on, you know. So, and the man is still doing well, and I think they've deemed it fit to call him back. But what I want to let you know, it's always good you work hard in life. If Onana was in Galatasaray, any of these
countries.
Yes, exactly. I don't think he would have been recalled to his national team. They would have moved for that, but they have gone through a reconcile process and maybe approached the goalkeeper and saw reasons with him, telling him, this is your country, and, you know, so many heads would have come together to make sure Onana comes back to the Cameroonian squad. So, Eto retired and came back sometimes. So it's always the routine of players. When you retire and they find out they are still very strong and very active, they will bring you back.
And adorn the colors of your national team and help them where necessary. And I mean, it's even needed now because they have a very tough game. A win
against
Burundi, and that matters so much for them. So
exactly.
They need to be sure of the goal for first off. All right, moving on. Let's take a look at what is happening. I mean, Spain's top criminal court has opened a preliminary investigation into the country's football federation president Luis Rubiales after he kissed player Jenny Hermoso on the lips. I mean, I can't believe that you won a World Cup for the first time in your history, and then a lot of controversy internally generated. Because it looks like Spain fighting themselves. You know, yes, a lot of people might go to say that what he did was not right. But how do you see a kiss, an excitement kiss, turning out to controversy, rocked, hard-beaten controversy?
Tempo, in life, you know, you need self-discipline because you might have it all, but you need self-discipline. You know, we call it self-control, you know. You know, so many things happens in football. You know, like I always tell you, excitement can take you anywhere. I watched a match sometimes. I saw a lady that his club scored a goal. He pulled off his jersey, you know, while on the spectator stand. You know what it means.
Yeah.
So, you know, football can cause you excitement. You see people running into the field, chasing their exactly. You know, it happened one of the matches when Ronaldo played for Portugal and a boy ran into the field, chasing him and the rest of it. So these things happens in football. And I don't really see the courts, I mean, the Spanish courts want to kill the young man. You know, it happens. You know, this is not rape, just a kiss. But I know it's against the rule. But at the same time, I think they should tamper justice with mercy.
Is it really against the rule? Like, okay, maybe the outcome of how it's all played out, because I don't want to go into that, but I just feel that just maybe, it looks like even the Spanish stakeholders fighting against this FA. And this FA, I mean, the last 1 decade, you can say that they've really achieved a whole lot, but I don't know, we hope that he has been suspended for 90 days now, so provisionally, and then we hope to see the investigation will continue to go on, and if he's found culpable, if there's something behind the case, because what they're looking at now is what is behind the case, you know? Is it just a mere case, or there are attitude, you know, behind the case? I don't know why the fighting continues, especially with the man. And I said he will not resign his appointment as the federation or his nomination as the federation president. And so it looks like the man is strong-willed, truly.
Yes, things must be in place. The man has to be checked to avoid reoccurrence, you know? You see, people these days take instances to judge the next action, you know? So when there's discipline and the man is checked, I think such things might not really repeat itself. So I think that's what the FA is trying to do, and the court, you know, putting measures in place so that you won't have worse things like he has done.
Okay, from that, now let's talk club football in Europe. And Ang Postecoglou suffered his first defeat as Tottenham boss, as Fulham won 5-3 on penalties after a 1-0 draw in the League Cup, what was called the Carabao Cup. Second round he played yesterday. Another result of the Carabao Cup we saw yesterday, it was a glorious moment for Tottenham themselves. They have not lost the game this season. The former coach of Celtic, Ange, you know, doing so well with the club. It looks like this is their first loss, and very painful one, because they have not won a trophy since 2008, and one of the trophies now have eluded them already.
Talking about Tottenham, well, if you ask me, Tottenham will do so well this season. You can see their Premier League match record. They've played, I think, 3 matches unbeaten, right? And I think they are going to do well. If you ask me, their concentration seems to be on Premier League, because this coach wants to make a mark, prove a point, and in fact, they are doing so well, because if you see Tottenham playing on the field, you will know that that team has gone a whole lot of rehabilitations, despite one of their important players just left to Bayern Munich. And it's not easy, because that man seems to he seems to be the board man in that team. So they are really working hard. The coach has done so well, and I think Premiership seems to be and their most important cup of the season. They are working hard, and Tottenham will be among the first 4, if you ask me.
Okay, I'll keep my finger crossed on that one, but the result we saw yesterday, Swansea City lost to Bournemouth 2-3. Then that Birmingham City lost to Cardiff. It's more like the home teams losing, like we saw Bolton also lost to Middlesbrough. Bristol City lost to Norwich City 1-0, and then we'll talk about the Fulham game. Luton Town, the first win of the season, they had a 3-2 win over Gillingham. Away from that now, let's talk about other areas of the league and what is happening in the league tonight. Chelsea will play against AFC Wimbledon, and then Blackburn Rovers will host Harrogate Town. Nottingham Forest versus Burnley, and Sheffield United will play against Lincoln City. Not forgetting that Doncaster Rangers against Everton. For Everton, they have not been the best of form, but look like a team that really want to do something this season. So we'll keep our finger crossed, and so I'm sure you can see the fixtures on your TV screen clearly, and we hope we talk about that particular one. But all eyes will be against for Chelsea. Chelsea, they had their first win of the season last week, and they will just want to continue doing so well in the league. So they'll keep our finger crossed. But then in the league, Manchester City striker Erling Braut Haaland won the PFA player, the Premier League Football Association Player of the Year. What a feat, and truly, you think he deserves it? Yeah,
Haaland deserves it. And I'm yet to I'm yet to see Haaland in very best mood, because the club he's plays now, Man City, is a club of, I don't know how to explain that. you know, where goals are buttered and you give the final touch. That is how I see Haaland at Man City. Haaland needs to go to a club where he will work for the ball and get the goal.
But I mean, it's not easy. A lot of strikers have played there.
He's just the man that doesn't miss his chances. You know?
Absolutely.
Yes, he matched the all-season's highest goal scorer, scoring 52 goals in all competitions. And last season, you saw that Man City won
triple.
Triple. Champions League, FA Cup, and the Premiership. It's not easy. He has done so well. But talking about Haaland, who is 23 years old now, you see the man has so much in his front. And I see him sometime in years to come winning the Ballon d'Or and more awards. But I see Haaland, if you ask me, need to move to a club where he will work for the ball and get the goals. But the kind of team Haaland belongs now, which is Man City, he has people that gets him this ball ready for him to get the goal. Tempo, scoring a goal is really not easy, but I think most of Haaland's goal is buttered.
It doesn't matter. What matters is the fact that when the opportunity comes his way,
he utilizes
it very well, and that's what matters even in life, truly. So when opportunity comes away, like Ellen Brute Haaland, he'll be brutal enough, you know, to utilize such opportunity and make do with them effectively. All right, away from that, Liverpool defender Virgil van Dijk has been charged with acting in an improper manner after he was sent off at Newcastle on Sunday. I mean, he was red carded. We saw that red card shown him when he fouled the Newcastle Alexander Isak on the first half. Liverpool went on to win that game 2-1, no doubt, but somehow he was supposed to serve a one-match ban. His utterances as he walked down the tunnel, you know, when he was red carded, looks like not a very good one, the way he also spoke to the referee.
Yes, currently he's on the one-match ban, and by the time the FA investigates all that happened, probably all he said to the match officials. And if you ask me, I see more match ban on Van Dijk. And I was so surprised that at that time, Liverpool actually won that game because they needed that win. And the club is doing well, but Liverpool need to work on their defense for them to be able to come up in the first four in the Premier League.
Now, talking about the first four, time is up, but let me just get your take. If you had to list the first four, who do you think will win this season, and who are the top four teams that will play in Europe?
Yes, I still see Manchester City winning Premier League, if you ask me. And I see Man U in the first four, Tottenham and Liverpool. Talking about Chelsea, we are talking about the regular first fours. Talking about Chelsea, I think they are really yet to get their stand, and they need to be very careful so that this season will not be like last season. Okay,
you heard from Bakalo. From now to May next year, we'll come back and maybe table all that you have said. I will bring back this video and then look back and say if truly your predictions are correct. Ekpo Temple is my name. It's been a wonderful time with an ex-Ayimba International, Bakalo, being part of the show this morning on Atlantic Television Network. Do have to join us again tomorrow for the Thursday edition of the show. You can go to our social media platform, Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter to converse further with us. But don't forget, this evening we'll be back for Sports Extraordinary, where we'll take you through happenings in New York, where the US Open continues in day 2. Ekpo Temple is my name. Have a lovely time. Bye-bye.